How funny, how random is this? There's an alligator, a brass alligator on the side of this building right here. That's hilarious. I just got gas at the Flying J, and I also filled up on water. I like Flying J's because they often have water. And so I'm on my way down to Boise today. Let's get going. It's a little bit more windy than I would like, but it's not the worst I've driven in. Driving out of Grande, Oregon, you get the distinct feeling that you're in the wild, wild west. At times I fully expected to see covered wagons and men on horseback riding slowly through the countryside. It made me fully appreciate the arduous task of traversing these outback countries before interstate highways were put in place. The pastures and semi-mountainous scenery were rustic and beautiful at this time of year because of the fall season changes, and it was apparent that during winter this area gets a significant amount of snowfall. We just passed the 45th parallel. How cool is that? Time for a quick rest stop. Well, if there's any doubt, I am in the middle of farm country out here in Oregon, kind of in the top eastern corner, but it's really pretty. It's very sort of pastoral out here. A lot of haze in the atmosphere. So one of the things that I tend to do when I stop is I come back and I check the straps on my scooter here. I just always make sure they're tight because as I'm traveling, there's a little bit of slack that tends to appear. And so I have learned to just check to make sure these are tight. Okay, I just am leaving the rest stop, getting back on the road. I hadn't planned on stopping at Baker City on my way to Boise. On the map it didn't seem that interesting, just another small town to pass through. By chance I decided to stop and top off my gas, and I saw a sign saying there was a historic district to be explored. While getting propane, I asked the attendant if the historic district was worth going down and seeing. He said it most definitely was, and so I went down, and I'm glad I did. Baker City got started as a small settlement in 1865 and was incorporated in 1874. Because the Oregon Short Line Railroad came to Baker City in 1884, it fueled its growth and became the largest city between Portland and Salt Lake City. For a time, it was known as the Queen City of the Inland Empire. There's my RV over there. Yay! So check out those buildings here in old downtown part of Baker, Oregon. 1800s. How cute is that? So there's a sign here. Look at this building here. It says Baker City Historic District. The Man Block, built in 1890, originally housed one of the many saloons located in this block during Baker City's early rowdy years. Like most of the establishments, the saloon operated on the first floor with the body house and gambling rooms above. So check that out. J.P. Bowen, 1886. Bamberger, 1888. The Haskell Building. N.C. Haskell was one of Baker City's leading real estate developers of the late 1800s and early 1900s. He had this building constructed in 1897. In the early years, the second floor housed the Elks Hall. Interesting. The Geyser Grande Hotel. When Baker City reigned as the Queen City of the Inland Empire, the Geyser Grande Hotel was a jewel in her crown. Built in 1889, the hotel soon earned a reputation for offering the finest accommodations between Seattle and Salt Lake City. Travelers enjoyed such then rare amenities as plate glass windows, electric lights and bells, baths, and an elevator. The lobby and rotunda were embellished with intricate carved mahogany. The rotunda extended up 2 stories to a balcony and skylights. The dining room, which could seat 200, offered feasts of black bear, roast Oregon goose, fresh Maine lobster. After years of decline, a complete restoration of the Geyser Grande began in 1994. Cool. Antlers Hotel in the alleyway. How cool is that? In the early days of the 20th century, the Antlers Hotel was a bustling 3-story hotel which boasted a fine restaurant and bar. The hotel had an elevator. In 1910, a 4th story was added to make the Antlers even more first class. There are these metal sculptures, random animals all over the place here. The Mint Fox building was constructed as 2 adjoining structures, the south half in 1888, the north in 1889. The buildings were erected by A.A. Houston, a local builder. Houston first rented the south building to 2 miners who opened the Mint Saloon. The Mint was known for its mineral cabinets, which displayed ore from area mines. So this is the historic downtown Baker City, Oregon. After leaving Baker City, the drive became increasingly desolate, and I couldn't help but think about early pioneering people who ventured out into these parts of the West to establish cities like Baker City. One particular stretch passed by a concrete plant and then into one of the more twisting and rugged stretches of roads I've been in for a long time. It was actually a lot of fun to drive through in my RV. As you approach Ontario, Oregon, the last city before entering Idaho, you descend quickly into the Snake River Plain region of southern Idaho. It's a very flat, crescent-shaped geological region taking up a large area of southern Idaho, and it's very clear that you're descending out into this stretch of very flat land.